Welcome back to the video where we are trying to build LinkedIn post generator. In the last video, we tried to understand AI statelessness, how not having a memory in an API call to the LLM is a problem. And then we tried to add memory array to the API call, and we demonstrated how to add it by initializing the Gemini SDK, then creating chat session, etc. Today, and basically finally we added the memory to the API call that we are doing by providing it the context that we had in the whole conversation. Today, let's discuss what is few-shot prompting, why few-shot prompting is necessary, what is the difference between zero-shot prompting and few-shot prompting, why zero-shot prompting is a problem when we take this specific project of LinkedIn post generator. So if you see here, zero-shot, if we request an LLM with one input, like write a short post about fixing code bar, it's a zero-shot prompting. Basically, we directly ask LLM to give a response for one of the use case. Here, what happens is most of the LLMs will give a cringy output like, wow, fixing bug is a systematic journey of discovery. Keep grinding developers. It sounds cringy, right? So if you see the AI response, something which is too robotic or too corporate will come out. So instead of getting a robotic response, if we could get a more predictable response, or maybe something we are familiar with, or maybe a style from a creator, a response that is more intellectually understandable, more balanced, not too robotic, then we can use this prompting technique which is called as few-shot prompting. In zero-shot prompting, if we try to improve the quality by again prompting the LLM to give a better version of the same output what it has responded, doesn't improve the quality, but it will make the post worse. So it's better to find a technique that improves the quality of the response to a style that we need to get as an output. The technique to achieve this style is called as few-shot prompting. If you see the screen here and see the two types of prompting techniques, which is zero-shot learning and few-shot learning, or we usually call it as zero-shot prompting and few-shot prompting because we are dealing with LLM prompts. So here, if you see in the first image, the person is asking to paint a masterpiece. He doesn't give any specificity to the LLM. He just says paint a masterpiece, and the AI will just draw a stick figure and doesn't have any features or anything. It just draws something which is very random to what is asked. A stick figure is not a masterpiece per se, but it will generate based on what is trained and basic, which is very basic because the prompt is a single prompt and there is no specificity to what he has asked for. But when it comes to few-shot prompting, he again says paint a masterpiece and he gives an example of series of images. So it specifically know what style to capture, what how exactly to design a masterpiece. So here he just gives a prompt paint a masterpiece, but on the other side he gives a prompt and he gives multiple examples on how to do it. So here is how the zero-shot prompting is implemented on the code, and here we have the generate API endpoint. Inside this endpoint, we access the topic from the front end using request.body.topic, and here is the prompt that we give to the LLM, which is write a viral LinkedIn post about the topic that we access from the front end and ask it to make it funny and use short sentences. But here again we can see we get the response from this call. Await AI.models.generate content. We are using the model Gemini 2.5 Flash as earlier, and we are giving this prompt as contents to the API call to the LLM. So when we do this call and when we get a response, this will be a more generic, more cringier response from the LLM, because we are just giving one zero-shot prompt. We are just saying, this is the topic, make a LinkedIn viral post and make it funny and use short sentences. So if we need more balanced response from the LLM, then we should try few-shot prompting. If you see here, with zero-shot prompting, as discussed earlier, user will give blank canvas and ask to paint a masterpiece, and it will just give a basic stick figure painting. But when we use few-shot prompting, we will give 3 different kind of example paintings, and then we ask to paint a masterpiece, and we get a result which is actually much better than what zero-shot prompting has achieved. So now let's see how few-shot prompting works, and let's see how to prompt LLM to get better result using this few-shot prompting technique. So first we should define system persona. System persona means we are trying to tell LLM what kind of response we want to get from what kind of person. So here we are saying you are a cynical, tired senior developer, right, in all lower cases. So the LLM knows what kind of person it is dealing with and how the response should be. After that, we give few of the examples, which we say as few shot prompting. We are giving the shots for the LLM to know. So here we give three examples, which says input as meeting and what kind of output we want if the input is meeting. And another example is input is JavaScript and what output we look forward from this input, and so on. We can give multiple such examples to the prompt or to the LLM, and we merge those payload and then we send the full prompt to AI. Now let's discuss how few-shot prompting should be implemented in the code. Most of the implementation will happen on the prompt part of the code, where first we will give system persona to the prompt, then we will give multiple examples. Here we can improvise examples, or like we can add more examples. Basically, example will be, we will give a topic, then we will give something called as post, which will be the example output that we want from the LLM. So here we have given two such examples. We can add 3 or 4 as much as we need, so that we get a better response from LLM. And at the end, we will give the topic that we can fetch from the front end. The response that we receive from this few shot prompting will be much better than the what we receive from zero shot prompting. So to summarize, let's discuss using this schematic diagram, where the user will send a topic from the front end React UI to the server, which will wrap the topic, and in the server we will wrap those topic with all the examples that we have given, with the system instructions, with the system persona, and we will send it to Gemini API. Then Gemini API will send back with the most accurate, balanced response based on the examples that we have fed in the prompt, and that response is received from to the server, and server will display it back to the React UI. So by doing this, we have successfully taught the LLM a highly specific writing style by giving the example of the writing style that we want to mimic. So this happens without writing a complex code or complex algorithm, just by giving few examples of the prompt, of the examples of the response that we want to receive from the LLM. So this is few shot prompting. So this is how it is better from zero shot prompting. Thank you. In the next video, we'll discuss on how to get a response in JSON mode, how chain of thought works. And until then, if you have any questions, please comment. And if you have not watched the previous video, please go ahead and watch it.